Hello, hey, and welcome. As you know, we are here for another day of dating after divorce for women. Break free from attracting the same old partners to attract love that is deep, committed, and secure interview series. We are nearing the end, and I don't know about you, but it has been exciting connecting with these speakers and having them share their gems and gold nuggets of wisdom. For those of you that have been with us and listening in uh, from these amazing women, I would like to thank you for being open to gain knowledge about your dating after divorce journey and exploring new territory you may not have been so comfortable with. For those that are just tuning in, it is your give it to me straight or it is your give it to me straight resource for practical and actionable advice that is going to take you one step closer to attracting love that is deep, committed, and secure. As always, I'm your host, Stephanie Flygare, and today we have Kara Francis. Kara is a former divorce lawyer turned marriage and divorce coach. She serves clients at all stages of the divorce process, deciding if divorce is the answer, getting started with the process, support during the divorce case, and creating your post divorce chapter. Kara is here to provide you with the give it to me straight goods and help you move one step closer to attracting love as we explore this intriguing conversation on releasing the shoulds of dating after divorce. So, Kara, I know that was a lot, but why don't you get the ball rolling by sharing a little bit about your story and about how you got to where you are today? What got you into this line of work?
It definitely has been a journey getting to where I am today on the topic of, avoiding the shoulds of dating post-divorce. I feel like I'm a classic case of doing everything we should do to be happy
Yeah.
and checking the box of all of these goals to achieve. And each time I would reach a goal, I was expecting to be happy. I was like, I'm waiting for it. Where is it?
Right.
And I'd be temporarily happy, but that would eventually fade, and I would feel like I was lacking purpose and just wasn't completely fulfilled with my life. And so I got into about 2020, and that's really when things started to change for me. So I had married a boyfriend that I met in college, and the relationship was fine. There were no, sometimes it's easier to do black and white divorces where there's something very, very wrong or there's a risk of harm or danger. And this wasn't any of that. It was just a classic case of growing apart and realizing that we wanted different things.
Right.
And so that was really the first step I took towards redefining my life. And it was hard because I had invested all of this time and energy and resources into creating this perfect life that society says you should be living, you know, professional, good job, had the house, got the husband, and having children was kind of next on the list. But then that's when I kind of had my awakening of, this life I've created is not fulfilling for me. It doesn't feel aligned. And so I went through divorce in 2020. And even though I am a divorce lawyer and I know legally and logistically how to get myself divorced, I still really struggled on the
Yeah.
emotional side, again, because it was such a shift in my identity from what I had seen and learned and aspired to do growing up. So that's where I kind of saw the benefits of coaching firsthand. I had a best friend who she's a business coach. She's not a divorce coach, but she's still trained as a coach to listen in a different way, ask
Right.
different types of questions than your friends or family would typically ask. And she really held me accountable to what I want and to go for it through all the good times and bad. So I saw that from a personal lens. And then as a divorce attorney, I also saw a lot of my clients had divorce coaches. And so I saw it from a professional lens as well, the value that they bring, because I knew that my clients had that space to really process emotions and get clear on their goals. And then when they came to me, we could get straight to work on the legal issues, as opposed to having to bill my clients for emotional phone calls that, I felt like I really didn't solve any problems for because I wasn't trained to solve them in that way
Right.
at the time. And so,
Right.
personally, professionally, really started to see the benefits. And so after I went through my divorce, the next chapter of redefining my life was my career. And so I wasn't feeling fulfilled or happy practicing as a divorce lawyer at a traditional law firm.
Mm.
And so, given my exposure and experience with coaching, I decided to pivot and launch my own coaching business. So that's where I am today. I mean, I could talk for a lot longer about it, but that's kind of the short version.
No, that was actually the right amount. I loved how you touched up on it. And thank you for sharing your experiences. and letting us into your world, if you will, even just for, a hot minute. I always love hearing all the experiences and stories and the lessons that these speakers share, because it's also the very thing that leads us to where we are today, as well as why we help and serve and do what it is that we're doing. So this is the very reason why I asked this question. So thank you for that. And excuse me, what really stuck out in my mind, what I love that you said was like releasing the shoulds. And this is what this topic is about. But having that should, oh, I need to do this. It has to be that. Okay, this is how it's supposed to look: the house, the husband, the kids, the car, the white picket fence.
Mhm.
So it's supposed to go all aligned like this, isn't it? And I know that I resonate with your story when it comes to that, and I know a lot of women may be feeling that same way. Like, why is it that everything looks good on paper and it looks good to the eye and everyone's seeing how good it looks, but why does it feel so misaligned, or that I'm missing the mark somewhere? Why is that?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that, because I know there's going to be so many women that resonate with this, and they're not alone in this journey when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But what which leads me to, and I know that we have covered some of it, or we may have covered some of this information, but what is your personal experience with dating after divorce? Was that a struggle for you, or how was that going in after the divorce?
Yes. So I actually started dating before my divorce was finalized. So my ex-spouse and I were separated, living in different homes. And personally, I had been really detached and disconnected from the relationship for quite a while before we separated. And so I was ready to get back out there and just have fun. And I just want to normalize that first and foremost for anybody who, you know, either is like I was, where I was completely detached and moved on emotionally from the relationship while my divorce was still pending, or people whose divorces take years. You don't have to, limit yourself from experiences just because you're getting divorced. And so I want to normalize that for everybody. There's not like a scarlet letter that goes with that,
Yes.
because divorce is not cut and dry all the time.
No, no.
Um, but yeah, so my primary goal was just have fun, get comfortable dating again. I'd been in a 10-year relationship, and so I really was not looking for a relationship right away. However, I met my now fiance by like the third or fourth date. And this really created a conundrum for me because, on one hand, I could tell he was really special and he had the qualities that I was looking for in a partner that I felt were lacking in my marriage. And so I didn't want to throw him back into the dating pool and perhaps lose him forever. But on the other hand, I was also feeling some of those external pressures from societal and cultural beliefs that I should stay single for a while. I was also in a very emotional period of my life. I was grieving the loss of a marriage and the loss of an identity, really. And so I didn't want to bring all of that baggage into this new relationship with this wonderful man who's probably like, whoa, what's going on with her? Um,
Right, right.
and so after dating for a little bit, I did ask for some space. And he gave it to me. And that's when I really knew he was a keeper for me, because even though he may have been confused or hurt by me asking for space,
Yeah.
he never said anything about it. He respected my decision and didn't make me feel bad about it. And so after some time had passed and I had time to process some things, we resumed seeing each other, and the rest is history. So, we've been together almost 4 years now. And so I'm really happy I didn't push him away for good, because I really would have lost out on the partner that really fulfills everything I'm looking for. So,
Thank you for sharing that. And oh, I love, 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 love this part. And with what you were saying about normalizing dating while you're still getting divorced. And this is exactly why I even choose some of the specific speakers that are still divorce coaches. And they're either like in the mix post that serve various stages, because I know for my personal experience that it was the same way. Each time that we thought it was going to be finalized, the divorce, there was another month, there was another piece of paperwork, there was something else that had to wait. Okay, no, it's going to take longer than what we anticipated because XYZ. And so for people that are literally having these drawn out divorces, I was like, I know there's women out there that are literally, you know what, I'm already divorced. That is not even, that is like the paper, it's not Just because it's not finalized doesn't mean that I'm not okay, ready for that. So for me, when I dress or even connect with the women out there, it's literally for anyone that is dating. It doesn't matter where you're at, if you're still in the midst of it, because again, I experienced that long, prolonged divorce process, and not only on top of that, I know my former husband at that time too. He was already dating. So to me, there's all these different components that literally it's not cut and dry. It's not something you can have put in a box. So I love that you're saying it's not a scarlet letter. It's not something that you should shame yourself for. When you know you're ready, you're ready.
Yeah,
So thank you for that.
totally.
And knowing what you know now and going through your personal experiences, how can we explore ways to challenge and reframe our limiting beliefs about love, relationships, and dating that may stem from external influences, such as attracting the same type of partner?
hmm Totally. So I want to just run through a couple of examples of limiting beliefs because I feel like some of these things are so ingrained in our minds, but based on the way we grew up, that we don't even notice they're happening. And
Yes.
so the first step is really becoming aware of what limiting beliefs might be holding you back. And so I'm just going to rattle off a list of a few. So I should stay single for a while after my divorce. If a potential partner has any shared traits, characteristics, or interests as my ex spouse, then he is not for me. Or I should date someone who's completely the opposite of my ex. And I should keep my expectations low so that I won't be hurt again. Or I shouldn't let anyone in completely because I'll probably get hurt in the long run. No one will want to date a divorcee because of all the baggage. So these are things that have been ingrained in our mind since we've
Right.
become aware of
Yeah.
since we've been able to learn and absorb things. And
Right.
so they may be impacting the actions you take or don't take without you even realizing it. So if you don't believe something is possible from the get-go, then you're likely not to attempt it at all.
Yeah.
Or even if you do, you won't devote as much energy to it because you think it's a predetermined outcome. And so that will impact your ability to reach your goal. And if you don't reach the goal, it just reinforces that limiting belief from the that you started with. And so this is really a mindset issue. It's your brain trying to keep you safe. Um, but it's actually holding you back
Yeah.
from happiness and fulfillment and
Right.
growth and connections. And so, really, the best way to work through these is reframing them. So, really take some time to reflect honestly on questions like, where did I learn this belief? And how true is this belief for me? What makes the belief true? And what evidence do I have to support this limiting belief? What evidence do I have to the contrary? How is this mindset or this belief limiting me? And how would my life be different if I believed something else? And so when you're reflecting on these questions, you don't have to drink the Kool-Aid right away, right? You don't have to immediately adopt the other type of mindset. That might not be realistic.
Right. Right.
The goal here is to just take a step back and be more objective about what's happening and to raise your awareness of what's going on. And you're just trying on these different types of beliefs for size.
Yeah.
If you like it, great. If you don't, then maybe some further exploration and growth would be helpful. So these are really the ways that I help my clients reframe limiting beliefs, not only about dating after divorce, but about everything relating to marriage and divorce.
Right. Those were such great questions. And what I always like to do is, for those that are tuning in, to, if you need to, hit the pause button on this and rewind and kind of re listen to what those questions that she had mentioned, because those are actually really profound. And even though you may not be ready, actually having that information and writing those few down, when you're like, huh, I am getting a little bit curious. Let's try that first question. How does that feel to me? So pause that, rewind it, take those down, and when you feel that you're ready to go ahead and refer back to them, because I believe that those were amazing questions and a very first like entry point to kind of explore what those limiting beliefs are. And thank you for giving those examples too. Those were such great examples, such as lowering the standards. Okay, well,
Mhm.
I won't get hurt. And that was a really good one there. So thank you for for sharing those.
Yeah.
Um,